This is a presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the Oklahoma Sports Network's consent is prohibited. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be used without express written consent.
And a pleasant good afternoon, live from the Southwest Oklahoma Brewery here on 2nd Street. We're downtown, and this is the place that you need to be, especially on Tuesdays. Tuesdays is our special day that we've circled off as our coaches area for all of the 3 schools in Lawton, plus Cache and Walters, and we talk high school football. Now, for those who follow us on high school football, you know that when it gets to this time of the year, not that I have to get a tissue out of depression, but we're going to be at the halfway mark. That means after this Friday, we're halfway through the regular season. 5 in the books, 5 we have to go in the series of 10, and then you're looking at a playoff opportunity for those who make that top 4 in the 8 of districts. So we want you to come join us, whether it be for dinner or for a light snack. I've been talking about that pretzel. They're going to get that pretzel to me, and I'm going to show you how big that pretzel is, that I'm not just making this up. But I want to invite Michelle in. Of course, she is our hostess for this event and all year long, and we appreciate the hospitality that you've given. But you've got a lot of stuff going on. And first and foremost, go to their Facebook page. If you find them on Facebook, you'll know all of the events, because she's going to throw out a lot of events coming up with Oktoberfest and Halloween, and Sunday you can watch NFL Sunday Ticket, all kinds of stuff. But if you just connect to them on the Facebook page, that's probably the easiest. And then the menu. The menu is just incredible. If you want barbecue, it's the best place to get it. I love their fried okra. It's different because it's not sliced. It's all in one big okra piece that's battered with their homemade ranch. You can choose from the barbecue plates, whether you want pulled pork, you got chicken, you've got their hot links, either the jalapeno cheddar. I could go on and on about it, but man, I just love your food.
Thank you. So yes, we've had lots.
No, go ahead.
We've had lots of compliments on it, and so, I think we're starting to get known as a barbecue place here in Lawton.
That's the thing. I mean, because your name can throw off a little bit of people. And I understand you are a brewery, the only one here in Lawton that you've set up, and that was your purpose. So the name is Southwest Oklahoma Brewery, but just don't think of them in that aspect. And we talked about the backyard. We got kids playing in the backyard. I love that. You know, you got the cornhole. You got a love seat set up with the whole family. Their little daughters playing around there in that backyard patio. So, I mean, it's very unique. You're not going to find any other kind of setup in Lawton that's like this. And you say, where are you at? You're on 2nd Street. Yeah, kind of closer over by the mall, so you can't miss us. But you got some events that we want to talk about coming up. So Go ahead.
So on the 18th, we have Oktoberfest, and we have a lot of good events planned. So we have a Stein holding contest, pretzel eating contest. So
now, a Stein holding contest is how long you can hold on to it?
Yeah, so you have to hold your arms straight.
Straight out without any bend?
Without any bend until you...
Have you tried it out yourself?
I have not yet.
Okay, because I'm going to test your skills to see how long you go. Okay, So you have that. And Oktoberfest, and you got something for Halloween as well?
Right. So on Halloween, on actual Friday night, we're going to have adult-themed, a costume contest, some activities going on that evening. But on Saturday, we're going to have a big trunk or treat, the whole area here, so all the little shops and SOB here. We're going to be doing the trunk or treat on 2nd Street, and we're really excited about that. Then we'll have a kids costume contest, maybe even a pet costume contest. We're still debating on that one.
Wow.
See how many people we get dressing up their pets. So
now, did you already do your little trip to Altus? Weren't you going to do something?
Yes.
How did that go?
That went really well. So yeah, it was great. They had a wonderful turnout. There was a couple other breweries and wineries there, so it was a very fun event.
Okay, and we've talked about the food, whether it be snack items or a barbecue, or we've even got, I've told Michelle that there's probably only 2 things on the menu that I've not had yet. One is the chicken salad sandwich, which they're out of today, so don't come running down here to want to try to get it. And the other one is the baked potato. And the baked potato is unique because then you can put your favorite barbecue on top of it, right?
Correct. It's very good. It's a loaded baked potato, anything that you want, any type of meat you wanted. And if you want to up the game a little bit, put a little mac and cheese on it.
Oh, Oh,
it makes
and
it
you have a
taste
mac
good.
and cheese. You also have a grilled cheese sandwich. I've not had that on the list,
Oh,
too.
yes.
And
Yep.
some people add meat to that, you say. What is your favorite meat on the potato? You personally?
Mine would be the brisket.
Okay, you
Yep.
like the brisket on that. Okay, I'm a sucker for the jalapeno. That's I gotta have
Yes.
that. Not necessarily on the potato, but that the cheese and the spice that it's got a great kick. So, Michelle, we appreciate your time and appreciate you opening up your hospitality for us to have our coaches show each and every Tuesday.
Perfect. Yes, thank you.
Okay, we'll take a time out. We got MacArthur, we got Cash, we got Walters in the house. Well, hopefully Lawton High and Eisenhower will come right around the corner. So we'll take a break and be back to the Coaches Show at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Southwest Oklahoma Brewery, where we are. We need you here to fill this up. And we've got room not only inside but outside. I think there's more people outside, and the weather is perfect for it, than there are inside. And so there's a lot of stuff out there. See, so not only is there seating, but there's sofa seating out there. There's cornhole. And right now, the way that the sun is, it is completely in shade. From the back patio to the back fence, you can see the light that's coming in through the window here in this inside, but outside it's absolutely gorgeous. So Southwest Oklahoma Brewery on 2nd Street. Well, we'll get to the MacArthur Highlanders, who coming off of a bye week, actually, and so this is kind of very familiar with you in the last several years. You've been being able to have this bye week right before you get into district play. So you've had 4 non-district games because we talked about this earlier. So, well, everybody else has 3. How come you have 4? Well, anybody in 5A1 will understand that you have to have a pickup game because Guyman did not participate in the district. They went on their own independent schedule, and so that left you with a game. So that's why that Ponca City, that wild Ponca City game that we saw just a couple of weeks ago was also on the schedule when they also played the 2 Lawton schools, and they started off with 0 week. Elgin. Boy, it seems like that Elgin game, that seems like a long time ago,
yeah.
And I know it really wasn't. Okay, Coach, so just kind of bring us up to, you were talking to me before we started the program that you guys really didn't take off. You say, well, it's a bye week. Well, what did you do during that bye week?
Well, we typically have 2 big practices a week. Have one that's focused more on offense and one that's focused more on defense, and then we get into kind of our walkthrough and our pregame practice towards the end of the week. But we went 4 days last week, 4 big practices, 2 on offense, 2 on defense, and gave them off Friday. But typically we pare down a little bit on a bye week and not do as much. But we just felt like that might be a waste of valuable time to get better. So we went ahead and practiced 4 full days and hard days. Went a lot of one-on-one stuff and got after it a little bit. So kids responded well. They had 4 really good days of practice.
Well, I know that I'm going to use some of what some coaches told me about when Jinx was on its run, and I asked a coach, how do they do it so effectively? And they said, well, they can out-rep you, and the reason there is a numbers thing is they have offense and defense, and they practice that, and they only come together for a short thing, but everybody else is having to divide it. You got offensive segment and defensive segment. So if you have that, he says the advantage is for those reps. And so I was glad that you brought those extra practice reps up. They say, you know what, I'm not going to waste them. We're going to use them to our advantage. Now, we talked to you in several weeks about what you wanted to do going forward into the district, what you wanted to get better at. You wanted to, make sure that all 3 phases were and you saw that with the special teams play that we got in Ponca City. Are you happy and satisfied that you met that mark? And what else would you still like to see?
Well, I think, anytime you give up 57 points, that's not good.
I'm glad you brought brought that up. I didn't bring that up. Yeah,
and you know,
defensively.
Yeah, and credit to Ponca City. They were really good at something that we don't see very often, and it was really hard on us. But obviously, we've got to do a better job defensively. So, you know, the whole season is a big work in progress on everything. But you know, we didn't start off very strong defensively. Then we had two pretty good defensive games, and then, you know, kind of took a little step back. But, you know, we're always just working to improve, you know, evaluating the week before and trying to see what we can get better at.
Well, I'm going to hold off for Classen SAS, our first district opponent for the MacArthur Highlander fan base. We'll talk about that, about what needs to accomplish. But before we do that, and before we get to a player, this is a special, historical week this week. On Thursday, it's going to be a Thursday. In fact, we've got 4 Thursday games this week because Carl Albert and Del City were moved from Friday to Thursday because lack of officiating in the metro area. So they kind of had to make do, and Elgin was already slated because of some kind of thing that the community there had, that they moved theirs to Thursday. So we have actually 4 Thursday games, but unique for MacArthur because this will be the first time in school history you'll have a varsity football game played at MacArthur. So don't head out to Cameron and think, you know, where is everybody? They're all going to be on the east side. I'm excited. I've been there for a soccer. The girls had a great soccer, and we were able to get a semifinal game there, and they hosted that, and that was incredible. So I got a little bit my feet wet in the taste of it, but not for a Friday night. What are you guys expecting?
Well, it's going to be packed, first of all, you know. And
you better get there early, right?
Yeah, there's you know, our seating is not near what Cameron is.
Right.
We do have a visitor side that we're going to allow our fans to sit on. The Oklahoma City schools typically do not travel very well. So, you know, our fans will be on both sides of the field, and you know, we've had to do some things. We're trying to bring some portable bleachers in for the band. Highlanderettes are going to the field to try to free up bleacher space, but we'll still have, you know, people around the fences, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It may be a nightmare for the administrators, but but
they planned it. They put it on the schedule.
Yeah.
And actually, you got 2 this year, correct? You got another one. You're coming back as a homecoming game.
Yes.
Homecoming will also. Oh no,
well,
this is homecoming.
Homecoming's this week.
This is homecoming.
Senior night will
be there. So I knew there was 2 big things to talk about. Well, that's really encouraging, you know, for us, you know, that live on the east side, and you'll be able to see the lights on a Friday night, and I want to see the fans' reactions to it. So it'll all be new, and just have a little patience with it, whether it's, you know, not the greatest to get to the bathroom facilities or parking or, you know, whatever you need to do, you know, that's make happen. But we want to pack out, of course, that to make that first experience a good one.
Yeah, everybody's really excited about it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
All right, we got a player in the house, so give us your name, your grade, and what position you play.
My name is Gajardo Mayberry.
Grade?
Grade is 12th grade.
Okay.
My number is 29, and I'm a defensive lineman.
Defensive lineman. So how excited were you to get this senior season started?
I was very excited. You know, we had Elgin, and that was a big game for us. And I was excited about that, and just really excited to get this year started.
Well, you know, you're on defensive line, so how did you want to come into this season to improve, to be better at what you do?
I definitely wanted to come in with more technique, you know, being more precise with my movements and getting past the line, and being more physical is most definitely what I wanted to work on.
What did you do during this bye week?
Worked.
Did you work?
Yes, sir.
Did you go see a game? Did you follow any game on Friday at all?
I ended up watching the Noble and LHS game, but other than that, it was about that.
Okay, just kind of like relaxing a little bit. What do you think, as a senior, going to play this first game at your practice field, which is now your home field for this MacArthur game on Thursday?
I'm very excited. You know, we're setting history, and it's kind of like this is home. Like Cameron, it's home kind of, but this is where I really put in my work, and this is where people get to see me shine, you know?
Yeah. It'll be a little bit different, too, because the crowd's going to be a little bit closer to you because the stands are right there, and so they're kind of like almost on top of you. And, you know, if he said that you got all the cheer and everybody else that's going to be all in there, so it's going to be a tight fit, but it's going to be an exciting night, I'm sure.
Yes, sir, most definitely.
What's your favorite food?
My favorite food, I'd probably say spaghetti.
Spaghetti. Where do you get the best spaghetti?
Olive Garden.
Okay. And what is your hobbies? What do you like to do when you're not playing football?
work out, draw. I want to become a tattoo artist, so I've been getting into that recently.
Okay.
And
What is your favorite subject in school?
my favorite subject would probably be math.
Math. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And so you mentioned tattooing, and I have a nephew that's a tattoo artist up in Wisconsin in Green Bay. So are you looking to just further your education after the senior year? You're going to get schooled in that, or what is your plans for after graduation?
Yes, sir. I definitely want to go to college as a business major so I can learn how to manage a tattoo parlor and probably minor in something in art, possibly.
Okay. All right. So you got your goals set out for you.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay, back to Coach here, X's and O's, about, you talked about yourself, you talked about what you had to do. We understand that when we play some of these inner city schools, it's not so much on the opponent, it's more so on you. So what do we look for on Thursday night?
Well, yeah, you kind of said it. It's the really sad situation, to be honest. They don't have a whole lot of players. I think we counted 19 on video.
Oh, wow.
And they're really struggling. I told our kids today, you're lucky, I'm lucky to be in a spot where we can compete, where we have a chance to win some games. And I have a lot of respect for their kids and coaches that are still out there, still practicing, still going to games, knowing they probably don't have a chance to get a win this year. So we're going to treat them with respect and take this as an opportunity to be thankful that we're in a place that where football's important and that we have a chance to go out and compete.
I know, I'll give you credit, this is in years past, that sometimes you actually fed these teams, did hamburgers for them in the past, it's just because you kind of know their situation. But, it is a sport. It's something that we love to do and have fun with, and I know that you can get kind of down with the wins and losses, but, you've got to give a lot of credit for kids that will stick through it, and be better for it. They're involved in something, and they compete with something, and so we're looking for that on Thursday night.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. Coach Brett Manning for the MacArthur Highlanders. We have Walters. We have Cash in the house for our coaches show at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery. We'll take a timeout and be back to them right after this on the Oklahoma Sports Network. All right, we're back here at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery on 2nd Street. We want you to be here on Tuesday nights, whether you have a light snack with us or you have a full meal. I'm telling you, from barbecue to the stuffed spud, if you want, that baked potato. They got great mac and cheese, homemade, by the way. All their barbecue is done on site, so it's not like we're getting this out of the back of a truck and kind of warming it up. I mean, this is the real deal. And so if you've not experienced it, I highly recommend you do it, whether it be for lunch or whether it be tonight. We'd love to see you. We talked about the back patio area, which is completely in shade right now, and enjoyed. I think there was more people outside than there is inside, and that's a good problem. So we've got space for both, and you can come out and enjoy the evening and of course, catch some of our coaches' show. So the Walters Blue Devils is up next, so we'll talk to them and talk a little bit about what to expect with this week's matchup. And Farron Griffin back with us, because I know that you've had a lot of junior high duty in the last couple of weeks, and you had some great fill-ins. But, let's talk about that junior high. And I always talk about great programs, are developed, when you start younger. And I think you bought into that, and you put a lot of attention up. Okay, I'm not going to worry about them until they become freshmen. That's someone else's job. But talk a little bit about your involvement with those underclassmen.
Well, ever since I've been a head coach, I've known the importance of investing in the future, and that junior high is where your future's at. And unfortunately, that's one of the things that has been lacking there is an investment in those younger kids. I'm diligently trying to get a Pee Wee program started again there, so
Good.
that there's a feeder for that. We haven't had that in a few years, and it's causing us to take some lumps down there at that level because we're having to teach some basic things that kids learn in Pee Wee, and it's kind of set us behind. And the same with the junior high program. It's the program for the future, and I'm not one of these people that just wants to come in and win a couple of years and then bounce out of there. Regardless of how long I am anywhere, I'm close to retirement in a few years, but I want that program to be strong when I leave it. And so, yeah, it's important to invest in those young kids and to put everything I have in that. And that is the future of the program. So, yeah, I'm heavily involved in it, and I'm always going to be that way.
Well, believe it or not, this is week 5 coming up. And I said, as a football fan as I am, and how much time you guys invest in all of this stuff from spring ball to summer, and then you get here, and then you start practicing, and then you look up at the calendar and you go, week 5, man, half the season's over. I mean, do you get that sense of feeling as well, that, the sense of urgency that the season is kind of dwindling?
I tell our seniors every year that, it's over in a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
And, I always tell them, hey, this many weeks ago we were in summer pride, and now here we are at this point, and, and we're in week 5. And 5 weeks from now we'll be at the last game of the regular season. So, it does go by fast, and I always challenge our kids to savor every moment because, you just don't know how long your season's going to last. Unfortunately, there's injuries, there's other things. Yeah. So enjoy every rep and every game and take it all in. The older you get, life gets more precious for you. So you want to stop and smell the roses a little bit. And I think we get so wound up in the grind and pushing forward that sometimes we forget to just enjoy the moment, and that's what I want our young people to do.
Well, talk about injuries. You see in the NFL just one last night, that's going to be the season for, Tyreek Hill, and I mean, someone like that, and they know you can't take it for granted because it could just be one play, and then all of a sudden that's wiped out, and especially if you've got someone that's older like a senior and that's their senior season. But talk a little bit about what you found out about your team up to this point at this juncture.
Well, for the past 2 Friday nights after the games, I've told them that I'm extremely proud of them, and I feel that way because, we're very inexperienced. We knew that coming in. We've battled all kinds of injuries from the very beginning. We haven't had our full team yet together on the field due to injuries, and they're going out there, they're playing hard, they're coming every Monday through Thursday, and they're working hard. And that's all you can ask of a team, and people that know football and are watching, we are getting better every week. And I'm extremely proud of the progress that we've made. I'm looking at things other than the scoreboard. Some people, they base everything on the scoreboard. And unfortunately, there's just times when, you're inexperienced, and it takes a little bit of time to gain that experience to start going. And, we feel like we're in pretty good shape right now, and we're heading into Hobart this week and a district matchup that we feel like we can compete with them and maybe start us on a roll here of winning. And I told our kids, we've still got a shot at making the playoffs. Everything we want's in front of us, and I truly believe that. And that's what we're striving for. And like I said, if we can continue to get better each week, we're going to be able to have a lot of fun before this is over.
Well, I know you got a great community support. They were with you, of course, good times, bad times. Last year, I mean, just everybody was on board with the phenomenal success that you had. And we talked about the graduation rate and how many left. And then you talked about it wasn't just young. You mentioned it, and I'll mention it again, is inexperience. There were some kids we've interviewed on this show that hadn't played football since they were, in grade school, know. And I thought, okay, this wasn't like a year removed from it. This was several years. And so the learning curve gets a little bit quicker. You have to kind of learn as you go, learn by the trade, by experience. And I think that's what some of your kids are having. But I'm glad that the effort there is still strong. So Hobart, this is, of course, a familiar foe for you. You understand kind of who they are, kind of break down the X's and O's and what you think you have to do for Friday night.
Well, I keep telling our kids that every week, we're going to have to get better at blocking and tackling, taking care of the football. And, I feel like we're doing a good job in a lot of those areas. Last week we had a really, really good sustained drive against a very good football team, and you know, I was able to show them on film Saturday. You know, there's 4 or 5 plays in that game that had this have happened or that happened during those plays, that game is close. You know, and we had a breakdown and gave them a touchdown right there before halftime where we didn't line up right. Again, an experience thing. You know, we missed a pass route on the very first play of the game that would have been a touchdown. You know, I mean, it just little bitty things. But like I said, the progress that I'm seeing, I'm so pleased with these kids that are coming out and fighting and working hard. As far as Hobart, you know, they're big, they're physical up front. They run the flex bone, the option, which we're very familiar with, and you know, so
assignment football.
That's
exactly
all it is. Right.
Yeah.
And you know, one of the things that I've been telling our kids is we're breaking the huddle with about 10 seconds left on the play clock because we're trying to control the ball and control the clock and control the game. And talking to other coaches this weekend that have played Hobart or watched them play. They do the same thing, so that game's going to get over in a hurry Friday night. So,
it's going to be a lot of keep
so,
away.
You know, and every possession's going to be crucial because we're both a lot alike. We play a lot of the same style of football, and you know, our kids, I feel, are getting hungry. You know, like I said, we've got a definite opportunity for the playoffs, and you know, everything's on the line Friday night, so we're looking forward to that.
Okay, you got some players with you, so
Absolutely.
give us your name, give us your grade, and what position you play.
My name's Jagger. I'm a sophomore, and I'm a quarterback.
Quarterback. Okay, well, hold on a second. We'll pass it here in a second. Okay, let me just talk about your experience. Were you there as a freshman last year?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you weren't one that said, I haven't played football in a while, but taking over the quarterback's position, I know you got a little bit of history with some other experienced guys that have come in. I won't really say a grade matters. We've seen starting freshmen playing in high school football and college as well, true freshmen, so I don't think age is a factor. So what have you learned as your sophomore season that you didn't know as your freshman year coming into this year?
I've learned to be more intense, and I've learned how to make more playmaking skills than I did last year.
How much of a film watcher are you?
I like to watch film. It's a good aspect to make sure that you know what the other team's going to do. And so, yeah.
What does it mean for you to put on the Walters Blue Devils jersey?
It means a lot. It shows that we're a family, and it shows pride and what it takes to be a Blue Devil.
Heads aren't down. I mean, like Coach says, a lot of people in the community sometimes look at just scores or your record, and, you're looking for this. And Coach says there's something out in front of you. If you guys control it, you can get a win, and you're still not removed out of a playoff scenario. So let's not, pack up the tent quite yet. Do you have that? And you being the quarterback, what kind of leadership do you need to possess to have others buy into that same concept?
Well, I have to make sure that everyone has their heads up and make sure that everyone believes that we can win on Friday nights. And I got to, pick up all my teammates Monday through Thursday and Friday.
You're a very unique position. I talk this with kickers. I do it with quarterbacks, too. Is there a quarterback that you follow either in college or pro that you like, would you like to emulate, would like to be in that position? If so, who would that be?
For college, it'd be Johnny Manziel.
Okay.
And for NFL,
well, you're bringing a name from the past. I'm surprised you pulled that one out of the hat.
And then Cam Newton for me for the NFL.
Man, you're an old school guy. I mean, these guys aren't even in the league now. That's impressive. I mean, so pull out something like that. Okay, you got a guy next to you. I think this guy protects you a little bit, though, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give us your name and grade and position.
My name is John. I'm 11th grade, and I'm a left guard.
Left guard, okay. So you got some heavy duty to make sure that not only he gets protected in some ways, but you're making holes for the running back. So what did you want to do to get better at being an offensive lineman coming into this season?
I wanted to work on getting lower and firing off the ball because I have a bit of trouble with that, but I think I've been getting better about it.
Well, it's the hardest thing in football. I know they say low man wins, but when you're a larger person, I'm a larger frame person, it's hard to get low when it's so easy to stand up, and you stand up and it's all leverage thing, and I'm sure coaches have told you that, but that's always the biggest challenge. What is your favorite food?
I like chicken fried steak and gravy.
All right, where's the best place to get it?
Home.
All right. I like that. That's kudos to Mom. Okay, what do you like to do when you're not playing football? Give us some of your hobbies.
I like reading and drawing.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's mainly it.
What do you kind of have an interest in drawing? Anything specific?
No, I'm just trying to get better at it.
Yeah. You think that would be something that you'll use later on down the road?
Probably not.
Okay. But you like it for the time being. All right.
It's a good way to pass the time.
Okay. All right. Coach, I'm going to leave it with you. The last segment, we've kind of got to know Coach over the years because he has another side hobby during this time of the year, and it's his hunting. And I say that because he had this monster buck that he got last year, and I was able to see it, and you got that back, right? Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Now, where is that hung?
It's right above our fireplace.
Oh, the fireplace. Okay. And luckily, and your lovely wife here is allowing you to do that because I'm just telling you right now, mine is not of the fireplace. Mine is in the upstairs loft, and there was a condition that if you have it, you can hang it, but it can't be right here, you know?
Well, Tuesday night last Tuesday night about 2:30 in the morning, one bigger than that one showed up on camera. So,
my goodness.
Yeah,
your heart just stopped a beat there?
I was like, when football season's over, I've got something that I'm going to be doing. So.
Yeah, but the only thing I'll say is if he's that large, he has evaded seasons for about at least 4 years.
Oh, yeah. Well, the last big one, it took me 2 years to get him killed.
To get him. Okay, all right. Okay.
It's just the way it goes.
Well, good luck on that, Coach. And good luck with the Hobart Bearcats coming up this week.
Thank you.
All right. So that's Coach Farron Griffin from the Walters Blue Devils. We've got Lawton High, we got Cash and Eisenhower all in the house. Yeah, fill it up. Southwest Oklahoma Brewery will continue right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Celebrating 10 years. We are the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Okay, Southwest Oklahoma Brewery. Okay, here it is. I'm going to tell you, and maybe I'll put this next to Coach. You can see the size ratio on that. That is their pretzel. Is that one of the largest pretzels you've ever seen?
That's very big.
I think I said I'll eat it. You know, it's going to be in stages, but I'll eat it. They brought that pretzel for us, and we appreciate it. Southwest Oklahoma Brewery here on 2nd Street. We're in the downtown area, close to the mall. It's our home away from home each and every Tuesday. Love to have you, whether it be snack items like that or their great barbecue. Make sure you make Southwest Oklahoma Brewery a stop at lunch or dinner. If you've never given them a try, I really invite you to do so. They're great barbecue. Follow them on Facebook. They've got so many activities coming up. They've got stuff for Oktoberfest coming up. They've got stuff for Halloween. And the best way to connect to them is on their Facebook page so you can find out what's next. All right, so the Cash Bulldogs are on the slate. And we got Coach Thompson with us, with Tanner and the Cash Bulldogs. And I was talking with Coach from Walters Farron about Week 5, and I mean, here it is. You look up on the calendar and you go, where has the season gone, right?
Oh, I know. That's what we tell our seniors at the beginning of the season. You're going to snap your fingers, and we're going to be in the middle of the year. And then, the next thing you know, we're at the end of the year. So, a big thing we preach is kind of take it day by day and stack your days up and take advantage of every opportunity you have to get better each day. And so, it's crazy. It's already Week 5.
Well, you talk about teams having an identity. How would you define this team up to this point right now?
Man, I mean, they're just tough, resilient kids, man. Things haven't gone our way this year, but the thing that I see is they show up every day and they work their butts off, and they still have a mentality that, hey, we can go still do everything we want to accomplish this year.
So, you got I say a big one coming up. I guess so they're all big right here.
They're big,
from here on out, if you want to have a playoff, it's going to be a fight each and every week. So what have you broke down X's and O's for this week's matchup and how you need to come up away with a win?
Right. Woodward's much improved from last year. I think they're really good up front with their offensive line. They're big, physical guys. The defensive side of the ball, they're improved as well. I mean, the new coach, Coach Schneeberg, he coming in, he's done a great job. I think athletically we have the advantage in some areas. But the big thing is for us, it's going to be stopping the run. We did a great job of that last week. We want to continue to do that and kind of take away that side of their game because that's what they want to do most of the time. And then our biggest thing defensively is, one thing we're focusing on this week is getting off the field on third and fourth down. I think we played really well defensively last week, but there's just some areas on third and fourth down where we just, we let them get a first down when if we would have got that stop, it would have been a big play in the game. So offensively, it's establishing the run game like we've been trying to do, and then also just adding to that, we got in the play action game and getting the ball on the edge to different guys in open space.
I'm going to ask you a question, too, that revolves around what coaches always tell me about the nature of two halves, And I've watched this was a bye week for the team that I follow, so I watched most of your game. And so, I was watching everything that was going in the first half, and then all of a sudden things, there's adjustments both sides make, Is there anything that you put your finger on between Cash first half ball, which all year long you'd be undefeated,
right?
You know what I mean? And second half, you as a coach, and for the team, what have you put your finger on for that?
Well, I think we're making the adjustments we need to make. It's just the aggressiveness in which we, me as a coach, call the game, and just getting our players, getting that momentum on our side and being aggressive early in the second half. I think that's a big thing with us, being able to finish games. Last week we just had, there's a fluke fumble that, everybody on the field thought was down, and then they picked the ball up and run in, and, it's a touchdown. So that hurt us big, and it kind of just took the air out of us a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think, for us as coaches, we need to be more aggressive and, show our kids, hey, we're going to win this thing with how we call the game. So.
Now, I know, being the head coach, you got to take this on as far as expectations. You and a couple of other schools on the program still looking for that win there. You want to make sure you have the excitement for the team and that they're bought in. Walters just said, hey, listen, our future is right in front of us. We can still make playoffs, so let's not pack it up emotionally and think that the season's over. So how are you addressing that? And then, to get that fight, to get that dog fight of a win this week?
Well, you go look at our non-district games. They're all basically 3-1, and then Sulphur's 4-0. I mean, so we had Altus and Sulphur are both 4-0.
Yeah.
I mean, so we played some really good teams, and it's just little things here and there that kept us from possibly winning those games. And then we know we should have won last week. We had 5 turnovers on defense, and that's more of
a killer.
Honestly, I told our kids, I said, you guys played good enough to win. This one's on me. I got to be better at, putting you guys in better situations and better positions late in the game to go win the game. And so, the morale's up. I mean, we understand we're a good football team, and we understand that, it's just little things holding us back, especially in the second half.
All right, we'll get to some of the players here, and give us your name, your grade, and what position you play.
Marshall Downing. I'm a senior, and then I play tight end and defensive end.
Okay, I noticed that you have a tape thing in your ear. It's called Be the Difference. Why are you wearing that, and what's it for?
I tape my wrist every practice, and it just gives me something to look at during practice to motivate me to keep going. I learned that one from Coach T when he was in his time in college, and I think it's helped me out through, give me something to look forward to and to help my team improve.
You guys are so upbeat about things, I mean, you got something in front of you, and you've had some of the setbacks. How do you take that as, they say that sometimes the better team doesn't win. That happens, in sports. And so you may have been the better team and you should have, but you didn't. So what makes you motivated for this week?
They're a good team. Woodward is not what they used to be, but they're still good. But I think we just have more athletes that can go compete and on both sides of the ball, and we're ambitious to get our first win. I think we want it more.
Well, that's the thing. Who's going to want it more, and if you execute down there. And what did you want to improve on personally to get better at what you do?
On defensively, I wanted to. I read the pass well, the quarterback boot. I wanted to get better at that. But there's also some times where I could have squeezed tighter, been down the line, made more plays defensively. And then there's also times I could have read my block well and got down into the second level and sealed off a linebacker for our running back to hit the gap and go score, potentially.
Okay. You got one right next to you, so pass the mic there. Give us your name, grade, and what position you play.
Marth Mero, senior, running back, linebacker.
How exciting have you to start the senior season? You know, you go through summer pride and you're saying, okay, I'm ready. How excited were you?
I was like most excited I've ever been to play football before because, you know, I haven't really got my shot to play running back much and linebacker. So I was really excited to do that finally. Do you like one over the other, offense or defense? I like linebacker a lot better because
you like to hit somebody.
Yes, sir.
Fill the gap and to hit. Well, do you think that you have some kind of an advantage being a linebacker that you're also a running back? That you know what as a running back what you're looking for is cut back lanes, and you know as a linebacker you got to fill those. So do you think that kind of gives you a little bit of an advantage when you're playing both sides?
Yes, sir, it does because you kind of like anticipate what he's going to do based off of like what our O-line is doing. So say we're running like a pulling guard, and if he's a good linebacker, he's going to read that guard.
And the morale's still pretty high up there, that knowing that, you know, you had your chances, and some of them, and you kind of kick yourself to say, man, we had this opportunity, and you're looking forward to another one.
Yes, sir.
Getting ready for this week. All right. I like the hat, Coach. That Brandon Bills, they do a good job with it. I'm working on OSN Brandon Bills. I saw the little BB next to it. I said, I've been working with them, so it's coming. So they do it. I love the tag where it's the 3D PVC.
Right. Yeah, they do a good job.
It's not an embroidered thing. It really stands out. So, you know, you got to hit up Coach if you want a Dogs hat.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the Cash Bulldogs want to thank you and good luck. Of course, game on Friday, pregame at 6:30 and the kickoff at 7 o'clock right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. We'll be back. We've still got Lawton High and Eisenhower at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery. Yeah, the two other Lawton schools. We'll talk to them right after this on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
All right, Southwest Oklahoma Brewery. This is our home away from home each and every Tuesday. Come join us. And Barrett Matthews, head coach of the Eisenhower Eagles, back with us. I know you have been busy, man. I'll tell you what. I mean, when we text you about our show, you know, it's like, I had a JV game, then we're doing middle school. I was talking to the Walters coach, was the same way, is that, you know, I really love your investment as a head coach, that a lot of times in the past, and I think younger the better, and I think you guys have all caught on to this, that we want to get them to buy into a program, that you're invested in them. I think, well, growing up, we never saw our varsity coach come down to junior high level. It's kind of like you're not anything until you step into our realm of as a freshman or in the high school. But I really give you credit for looking at the middle school program and being on the sidelines and encouraging these kids. Don't you think that beads down the line as far as building a program of what you're trying to set up?
Yes, sir. That's just setting the foundation. You know, just being a part of them kids' lives or whatever, and sharing some of our football knowledge with the young group and letting them let them see what we have going on at the high school, how we move around, how we move, walking on the field, getting a sense of our offense and our defensive skills.
Well, it's a get-to-know process with your being your first coach in your first year in a new town. How are the kids responding to you, how you're coaching, and are they teachable and coachable?
Yes, very teachable, very coachable. Always wanted to do more. They just got to get the IQ of the game down, and that's what we're going through right now, just growing pains. I looked at the numbers the other day. I mean, we have like 45 freshmen, 19 juniors, 20 sophomores, and I think 18 seniors. So,
okay.
I mean, that's a lot of teaching that's going on and leadership that's needs to be built.
Yeah, so you kind of lean on some of those, in the upper grades that kind of know what they're doing. I know you lost some talent in graduation, and so that's going to happen. It's high school. I mean, it's not like you sign them to a contract or anything.
Not at all.
You know what I mean? They grow up and go on from there. I would say I've asked the other two coaches, Cash is in the same situation you are, Walter's in the same situation you are, as far as record-wise, as far as, getting through. And I will say you have one of the murderous non-district games, then getting into your district was pretty heavy punch right in there. You're trying to learn stuff, but, you had the two city schools, and then you got Carl Albert, and then you got Stillwater, and you're going, wow, okay, they've put their programs in together. But how would you define this team that you're working with right now at this juncture?
Well, one thing I instilled to these two guys in the summer, because they was with me in the summer, is it's not a such thing as I don't know. We knew the schedule that was coming out. We knew what we had ahead of us. We knew, who was coming after the summer pride. Like, we knew these things or whatever. So it ain't no such thing as I don't know. And then on Thursday and Friday nights, we still got to compete or whatever, or it end up as an FL. That's a forfeit. So we're not trying to go through that route. We're just trying to coach, teach, and win these district games, because we still got a championship to win.
Yeah, so you got something in front of you. You control your own destiny at this point. So Southmore is next on the schedule, a little bus ride up there. So what do you know about them? What did you break down with X's and O's that you've seen on film, and what do you have to do for Friday night?
Well, we know that we can go to the game with an experienced team on the other side, and at the end of the day, we're just trying to look at what we can do better and get us right. Once we get some flow in the offense and just executing, we'll be great. Defensive-wise, just wrapping up and tackling, we'll be great as well. What we're looking at on sophomore side of the ball, we're looking at everybody. Everybody is a key factor. They got a great team. I just expect us to go out there and play hard and give it our best.
Okay. So I know that, it's how would you still like to improve, as, coaches are always looking for ways to improve, to get better from week to week. An area that you'd really kind of concentrate on for Eisenhower, what would it be?
Leadership. Got to have the leadership. We have leadership. I think that'll trump everything. I mean, without leadership, what team would we have? So just working on that, and just working on the camaraderie, and just working on just fighting through everything. Don't point the finger at nobody to do your job.
Okay, you got some players with you,
yes,
so
sir.
Grab the mic and give us your name, grade, and what position you play.
My name's Ricky Womack. I'm a senior, and I play D-line.
Okay, so familiar a little bit about your ways, because you're a senior. You've been around the program for a little bit. Coach says that you guys are teachable and coachable. You think with a new guy coming in, you kind of had to learn him. He had to learn you. What have you guys learned about each other, you as a player and him as a coach?
Him as a coach, I'll say he keep it as real as it get. He don't really sugarcoat around nothing, because he want the best for us. So he tell us straight up how it is and what it's going to be.
Well, yeah, I've seen he's also got, I'll call a fire chat speech. I mean, if I'm on the sidelines and I'm kind of, doing some work over there, he does get fired up. I sometimes it's hard to know if he's a coach or if he's a player ready to go in there and put the pads on.
I think
you think he's got one more year of eligibility?
Yeah, that inner player in him.
If you don't know, Coach went on to played at Texas, Hornstown. Sorry about that.
That's all good. We got y'all locked.
You're in Oklahoma, yeah. I got
you.
No, I understand that. It's going to be a great one. I can't wait to get your opinions on that here in a second. I'll ask about that, and I'm sure you follow that. And a little bit of the pro stuff, but I mean, you have something to learn, and I'm glad that you've responded that way. That you're coachable, teachable, and you got someone that. How did you want to improve at what you do specifically coming in on your senior year?
Really, what I wanted to improve on had nothing to do with football. It was really a character check.
Okay.
I wanted to get myself right personally, just so I could make it through the whole season, because I had to sit out last season for personal reasons.
Wow. You think you learned a lot from that?
Yes, sir. I think I learned plenty.
Well, I think that's hard, and I got to give you a lot of credit. A lot of people wouldn't even shy away from even saying that. But if you're saying I'm working on myself because of this, but it pains you when you're away from the game like that at any given time. Injuries are one thing, and that's not controllable. But when you have something that you can control and you're doing it, and you're taking it right there at where it is, and hats off to you. What do you want to do after graduation?
After graduation, I want to go to nursing school.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Cool. And what does it mean for you to be an Eisenhower Eagle?
It means a lot. It's a bloodline history going on at Eisenhower, and I just want to put on for the city.
Okay. All right. You got another guy right next to you. Give us your name, grade, and what position you play.
My name is Amir Giles. I'm in 11th grade, and I'm the quarterback.
You are the quarterback. You kind of learning by fire here, so to speak, huh? Coach kind of threw you in on. I do know that for you specifically, a lot was put on your shoulders because he had a high up-tempo offense. That means we're not going to huddle. We're not going to take a lot of time. It's next play up. Have you kind of – and I ask this at quarterbacks – sometimes the games can slow down for you, meaning the speed of the game, because you've adjusted to it and you kind of relaxed. Do you think you got to that point where the game is kind of slowed down for you a little bit?
Well, I say I haven't got to that point yet, but I say I'm definitely getting there day by day.
Progression. Okay. What would you like to improve on being at the position that you're at quarterback?
I like to improve my reads, so getting the ball a lot more faster.
Yeah.
Being more, explosive with my legs more definitely, and getting out the pocket and pocket control.
Okay. Now, I've asked this with other quarterbacks that were here. Is there a quarterback that you look up to watching on Saturdays or Sundays, like either a college quarterback or a pro quarterback that you like to emulate and be like?
Yes, sir. My college quarterback, I say Arch Manning because I love Texas.
Okay. Oh, boy. In the coach's heart right here. Okay, yeah.
And then after that, my NFL quarterback, Lamar Jackson.
Oh, yeah. That's and he is such a phenomenal player. I mean, he not only with his feet, but you know what I like about him, and I'm a Lions fan, and we just played them just on Monday night a week prior, but as Troy Aikman says, you have to beat teams with your arm, not just with your legs. And everybody sees Lamar as this, run quarterback, but he doesn't. And that's why he took so many sacks, is because he's still looking for that opportunity. I'll kind of move out of side to get the ball down the field. He knows in order to win a championship, you've got to beat them with your arms. So use your legs, but also use your smarts. And I think you're working towards that and getting that under your belt. So how excited are you to get this Southmore game? I think this is a game that I think you guys can get. I think of course, I root for all of our teams on OSN, but I think this one, now that all the city rivals are gone, I can really be that big fan for you. But it's away. It's kind of an away trip. But what are you thinking about this week?
I feel confident. I feel like we're more prepared than the last 4 games we had. Guys are, IQ getting better, ball playing getting better. So I'm very confident for this week, and I'm ready to play.
Okay, so does it help that your quarterback is also a UT fan?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
You guys can
I got
talk.
somebody in my corner. Somebody got to get my bag, man.
Someone's got an orange there. Okay.
Yes,
I want to talk to you briefly about that. That's coming up here in a couple weeks.
2 weeks.
What is that game? I've talked to many players. In fact, Dwell Brewer, who played at Lawton High and went to OU, and he talked about, and he also went and played on the pros, played with the Colts for a little bit, and this is old school because this is an older guy, but he said, all of your experience, college and pro, and you got a little bit of that. He says there's nothing like OU Texas. Nothing compares to it, and that's why they don't want to move it. They don't want to move it to Arlington, you got to have it right there. Talk about, as a player, and even coming out of the tunnel, what that game means to you.
Well, I was on both sides of it. I mean, I won it and I lost it.
Okay.
And wearing that hat is everything. So, just having that.
What year did you win, and who was the quarterback?
I was 2009. I was Cole McCoy. Earl Thomas. Just to name a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Chalky Brown.
Yeah.
The guys like that. Just playing Shipley. Like, just playing with guys
he
like
was
that.
A stud, man. I mean,
yes, he was.
Wherever he was on the field, I always hated this. It's like, there he is, man.
Yeah.
He's just everywhere.
And then, just on the other side, we knew who was going against in Bradford, Iglesias, at wide out. These are names that OU greats.
Those are fun times.
And just waking up for that game. The game was at 11 o'clock.
Yes.
Now they switched to 2.
Yeah,
or whatever.
A little bit afternoon.
So, just waking up, getting prepared for that game. You got to wake up at 4:30, get the pregame meal in, and everything like that. It's a whole deal. And then just coming out that opposite side of that tunnel with the OU fans on one side and how it's divided and everything like that, it just gives you chills. So I'm just excited for that and see what Arch Manning can do. And hopefully we got a Texas guy on the other side of OU that's going to play. Thinking with the Frisco Emerson, Hawkins, or whatever. I believe he's going to play. So I'm just excited to see what that looks like.
Are you going to go to the game?
No, I'm going to be working.
Okay, working. Good job, Coach.
I'll be working.
First job first, and then we'll have that up there. They're up on the monitors there. But
yes, sir.
it's really. I've been to one. and Dicker the kicker won it in the end. I'll never forget it, but it was a comeback.
That's that 51?
Yeah, it was the one that they came back from 3 touchdowns down, and Murray is the one that just danced his way down to tie it.
Right.
And then at the very end, Texas gets it, and Dicker the kicker kick it up, and that was it. So
it's a lot of stories.
But yeah, and it was. If you've never gone, make it a checkbox off the list that you got a bucket list. You got to go. Yeah, I mean it's just it was just an incredible time for OU Texas. Well, Coach, good luck to you this week.
Sir.
All right,
Yes,
so
sir.
guys. A pleasure to have you here. We're going to take a time out. We got the Lawton High Wolverines. We got to talk about their matchup with this week, and we'll do that right after this at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery and the Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Memorial Medical Group's orthopedic specialists are the most experienced team in Southwest Oklahoma. Our orthopedic surgeons are trained to diagnose and treat shoulder, knee, hip, hand, and foot conditions, as well as orthopedic trauma, sports, or work-related injuries. And they're the only ones in the area to offer Mako robotic-assisted surgery for knee and hip replacement. When you need bone and joint help, trust MMG Orthopedics to get you back to living your best life.
Download our free apps on Apple and Android devices. Plus, find us on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. Search Oklahoma Sports Network and watch from anywhere.
Southwest Oklahoma Brewery over in downtown on 2nd Street. You want to come join us, whether it be for the light snack, food items, or the full barbecue, or Sonny, is this probably one of the largest pretzels you've ever seen?
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen one larger? Oh, you have. Okay. Didn't know. That is a large pretzel. That's huge.
Yeah, that is huge.
That's a big one. So the Lawton High Wolverine, Sonny Polatowski, comes long history. I was telling you this story, and I got to relay it to those who I didn't. Your son was out there, and I didn't know him at the time. He was a freshman this year. He was kind of bouncing across, and he looks so much like you. I mean, there's no denying where he comes from.
Yeah.
And so I looked at him and I said, by chance, is your name Polatowski? And he said, yeah. And I said, okay, let me tell you the story. I said, your dad, back when he was a player, this is how old I am. I was doing games on the radio when your dad was a player. And I said, what a player you were. And you went on to Wyoming and you had a great success. And I got to give you a lot of credit coming back to the community that gave to you, that you're giving back in so many different ways. And you've really made a great name in this community of all the things that you've done and continue to do. And now in the program that kind of gave to you. I guess I don't have to ask you, what does it mean to be a Wolverine, right?
Yes, sir. Like the saying is, once you're a Wolverine, you're always a Wolverine. But to come back and just to be around the football team, especially the players, and just to be that, that extra encouragement for them when they're facing adversity like we are today.
Yeah.
So, that just means a lot. And these kids don't know, me being there and them allowing me to coach them, means more than they know. So
yeah, and I know that kids are a little different. I was talking to Coach Jeremy Reed from Altus, and I was talking about his history, and he had won a state title in 2015. He says, kids these days don't care that I won a state title. They don't care. They're kind of know what can you do to help me right now. And so you've got that kind of thing in front of you to be able to, what do you think you can provide, and what do you do for the team? What kind of special teams, or what specialty, what coach duties do you have with Coach Zoe?
Great question. I'm more of supporter.
Yes.
I am an assistant coach wherever Coach Zoe wants me at.
Right.
I'm there. Quality control, especially, making sure we have the proper, equipment, logistics part of it. And also, I help out with the O-line and D-line as well. So
something that you know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So
got to give them some keys and some pointers. How would you describe kind of what's going on with Lawton High? You started off with great start. You had that momentum going on. You had that rivalry with Eisenhower. You went on Enid. You got that win, and then you kind of taken some lumps there. With what you've seen, especially with Noble, kind of hard to kind of tell with that game. And I know your quarterback goes down, and then your son actually has to step into that role. And I know that's probably a different thing for you're a coach, but you're also a dad, and I know you want what's best for him. And you say, well, I wish you got that JV experience, before, but freshman, Altus has got a freshman, his son, Jeremy Reed, is doing quite well at freshman too. So we don't really put that down as like, well, a freshman can't be successful at what he does. But talk a little bit about what this team has evolved into at this point.
Yes. So Lawton High, we're a very young team, We only have about 7 seniors. And,
wow, only 7.
Yes,
I didn't know that.
Yes. So, We're learning as we go, and with the 2 losses, we have to make sure we're coaching the kids, how to deal with adversity, and that's
right.
That's the beauty of the game. How can we overcome adversity? So after these 2 losses, we've had a great day of practice today. The energy has been great on the practice field, so hopefully that'll carry over to tomorrow. So just one day at a time. And, as we get better, we're also learning how to be a better team.
Well, even though, part of that record is kind of non-district. Last week, everybody started with the 1, so you're only 1 in, and so it doesn't really decide the season. There's 8 in a district. You want to be in that top 4. What have you done for this week to prepare X's and O's for this week's matchup?
Just going back to the basics. We've had too many penalties in the past 2 games, and, just teaching the kids, hey, it doesn't hurt to just go back to the basics, focus on the fundamentals, and just focus on what we're good at. So that's the main focus this week.
Okay. How would you like to see them kind of improve in certain areas that you work with, especially at the line?
More physical. We have to be more physical at front, offensively and defensively. Just getting more push forward on the offensive line and more push backwards, on defense, so just more push up front.
Now, I know you're your son's biggest fan. Of course, what dad wouldn't be? But I know you had him in all those little youth leagues and, playing that ball, and so you followed him up through that. What was it like when he had to set next man up and step into that role at the starting quarterback this past week as a dad, not as a coach?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So as a dad, it was very nerve-wracking. However, the dad talks in the truck on the way to practice,
sure.
on the way to school. So he's prepared for it, for these moments, and he was nervous, Friday night, but he understands. He understands. When we're on the field, I'm a coach.
Yeah.
And when we're in the truck, I'm a dad.
Yeah,
so.
there you go. Well, he's taken on that role, pretty fast. How is it this week now that, he wasn't thrown into it? He's got all the reps. Is he kind of really feeling a little bit more comfortable in that position?
Yes, for sure. He's more comfortable this week after Monday or Sunday after watching film. Coaches pulled him to the side and, told him he did a great job Friday, worked the best we could. And now he's studying film, studying John Marshall, and just understanding the defensive scheme they run, and just going over it at practice. So he's more comfortable with it.
All right, you got some players with you, so grab the mic, give us your name, grade, and what position you play.
My name is Godfrey Wilson. I play safety and wide receiver, and I'm a freshman.
Okay, no, hold on a second. We'll get him in a second. We're going to talk to you a little bit. What grade did you say you were in? Ninth grade, a freshman. So, you got a quarterback that's also a freshman in that group. You're kind of growing up together. Did you feel a little big-eyed with what you're doing, but you had to earn that position. You know, it wasn't just like, okay, you know, you're going to play this. You had to earn that position, and saying something at ninth grade is pretty good. How do you take on that role of starting at varsity just at such a young age?
I'll say learning from like the people ahead of me. Like I feel like when I go in there, I feel like more prepared, like taking that step up.
How would you like to get better at what you do?
Pay attention more. I'll say listen to the people ahead of me because they've been doing this for a while now. And
yeah.
Drop out of middle school stuff.
So are you coachable then? You can take instruction not only from coaches but from some other players that are in those roles?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Give us the next one and give us your name, grade, and what position you play.
Bacon Stores. I play tight end, and I'm in ninth grade.
Okay, so 2 freshmen here. I say, how has this year been? I mean, you know, as far as, you know, getting this all started for you, you know, coming up from the middle school ranks, you're coming up from Central. Central's had some good programs. In fact, you guys were city champs last year, weren't you?
Yes, sir.
All right. No? He said no, yes, no?
Wait, no, we were not city champs.
Okay, all right. So you want to make sure that I get that right, so hold me accountable on that. But I know that it's a great feeder to kind of come through in that program to get you where you're at. How would you like to still get better at what you do?
I feel like I just really need to work on, like, getting better on my blocks and just working more to getting in Coach Zo's system.
Yeah, it's just, you know, having that opportunity. You get some other players there. Who all is over there in the other table snacking away? Who is all that?
We got AJ. He plays wide receiver, ninth grade. Camden, D-line, ninth grade. Kaysen, ninth grade quarterback, and Seth, ninth grade.
So the whole freshman class there. So what has your year been like for the freshman team?
I feel like it's really been, like, eye-opening.
Yeah.
Seeing this, playing against all these big guys in high school. But I feel like we're really adapting to it.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. Well, Sonny, I appreciate your time and coming here, and you do so much for the community. And like I said, I know a lot of, you know, some of them do. They come back, you know, after graduating. Some go off and, you know, have their careers taken elsewhere. But, you know, that path eventually brought you home, so to speak. And I love the fact that you're giving back in so many ways, and especially the program. And I know Coach Zoe appreciates it as well.
Thank you.
Okay, Sonny Politowski for the Lawton High Wolverines, and we can catch them on Friday as well, pregame at 6:30. We'll come back and close out at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery as the Coaches Show continues right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Wow, that is a full show in the books. All 5 schools from the Lawton area here. We got a lot of coaches shows too. We got to tell you that, you know, tonight we had one at Midwest City. That's at 5:30. We have the Lawton area coaches show here at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery at 6. We're all 5 schools, all 3 Lawton schools, plus Cash and Walters. We have Elgin out in Elgin at Burrito Mico, and they are at 6 o'clock. And then tomorrow we've got the Altus Bulldogs coaches show. And Thursday we've got the Newcastle coaches show. Speaking of Thursday, I got to bring this up. We have got a change in the schedule because we had 2 slated that we've known for some time on the schedule of football games. One is MacArthur. It is their homecoming. They are against Classen SAS. They are at home. When I say home, it is literally at MacArthur High School. For the first time in school history, that game is going to be played on the east side and not Cameron Stadium. So that's going to be twice this year, homecoming and also senior night at the end of their regular season with senior night at MacArthur as well. So we got MacArthur, we've got Elgin, and then we've also got 2 more that have changed from Friday due to officiating conflicts of not having enough officiating. And if you want to be an official, I recommend you go to the OSSAA and get signed up because they're really needing some help. But Carl Albert and Del City will all be Thursday. So we've got 4 games on Thursday. All the rest are on Friday. Download the app. It's easy to find on your phone, Apple and Android devices just by searching the Oklahoma Sports Network. It's free to download and free to watch. You can also get an opportunity to get us on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and on Facebook, give us a like, give us a follow, because just like yesterday, we had a conflict with the Lawton High Eisenhower volleyball game that was on the schedule. Lawton High, I think, had double booked, and so they moved it to the 29th yesterday at 1 o'clock. So we had that. You can go watch that back on demand. But if you say, well, I didn't even know anything about it, well, please, just like us on Facebook. You can follow us there, and we'll get you connected. And then you can also subscribe to our free newsletter. Over 9,000 emails go out each week just telling us about our schedule, what we've got coming up. Just connect to us in any way on social media, on X or on Instagram, on Facebook. We'd love to see you there. I want to thank Southwest Oklahoma Brewery, of course, being the host of this Coach's Show each and every Tuesday. Great food, great barbecue, downtown off of 2nd Street at 104 Southwest 2nd Street. It's Southwest Oklahoma Brewery. You've been watching a Coach's Show and a presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network. We'll see you Thursday, we'll see you Friday, and we'll see you right back here next Tuesday on the Oklahoma Sports Network.